Welcome back. This is Jeff Byers, and this is Andy235, and this is Module 8, and we're working on laying out UVs for the character. Again, I can't stress enough that you put everything in layers, make sure you get everything set up in feet, and get your character all prepped up. If you haven't prepped your character and you jump to this video, you could have some issues later, so please prep your character. Please watch the first video. This is part 2. Alright, so we're going to take you through how to separate and where to add seams. Now, we want to make sure the character has as few seams, noticeable seams, as possible. So, what we want to do normally is you usually go by natural seams. What is a natural seam? Well, natural seam comes from, let's just talk about the shirt. Okay, so let's go ahead and make sure everything's visible. And let's just say the shirt. Okay, so the natural areas that you would hide your seams would be in this area here for the body, and in the area where you see a collar. The collar will actually cover up. Now, if we put the seam here, then you would see that seam, and any stretching between the two UVs would be a problem. You would see that. Okay, so you want to hide that as much as possible. Okay, we do kind of want to follow the ring. Now, if I had a necklace on, that would be a natural break in the seam, which would mean I would put the necklace and kind of hide that seam by having a necklace there, and that's what we're looking for. Some people will put the seam right here. We'll have two seams, one right under the chin. Now, normally that's okay, because usually when we look at the character, it's about this far away, and if you do a close-up, that could be a problem. You know, obviously, depending on how you're going to shoot your character, having a seam there is not a big deal, and we might have to do that. Let's see how far we can go with it. Right, so with that said, whatever, let's say if you have a mid shirt and you're showing the midsection, you definitely don't want to put the seam right here. You would want to put it below or right at the line of the pants. Okay, so let's go ahead and add those two together and do Control 1. You can see that you have a natural break right here where you'd want to have the seam. You know, you'd want to have seam. You want to cover it with a natural piece, which is your pants or your belt. Okay, so I think you get the idea. Let's go ahead and go back, and let's just focus on this now. So with that said, you will put the seams where they're hidden. Okay, that's the best way. Now, if you see too much stretching, then you'll be forced to do a seam, and hopefully that you can get those blended in. Okay, all right. So let's go ahead and take you through the process. Okay, so naturally, you would want to cut the neck into two places. Normally, that's usually what you do. And then you cut at the armpit, and then you cut at the wrist, and then you cut around each finger, and then you cut right down the center here. So we'll take you through that whole process. Those are the seams that you can usually hide. Okay. Right, the first thing, and the thing again with the lower part, you cut right around that section there, and then you cut around here depending on what you're trying to do, but usually you cut around this edge loop right here. Okay, and then you don't cut around the knee or anything, you cut around the ankle, right where the foot goes down into a shoe or a boot, and then you come up the back, and then you cut in the middle here. So I'll take you through the whole process. It doesn't take too long. Alright, so the thing we want to do is we want to start with UVs that are completely defaulted. So we're going to go into UVs and we're going to go into planar mapping. So go into planar mapping, we'll start off. And our planar map is going to be in the Z direction. We're going to face, hopefully your character is facing the Z. Okay. If it's not, you want to rotate so the character faces the Z direction. Okay. So here's the Z. You see where I'm at here, the axes. You want to make sure that's facing that. And then click Project. Okay. And when you get is something like this, so we're going to go into UV and UV editor. Alright, so let's go ahead and move that over to the side. You'll need to keep that toolkit open. This is what we have. Okay. And so the seam is going to be set up right here. Okay. So that's the idea. We're just going to get that UVs all set up. Go ahead and close this for now. I didn't want to do that. There we go. Just click off. So we got a good start here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and delete by type history. Okay. And we don't need to freeze transformations. Everything's zeroed anyway. And what we want to do now is we want to right click over and go to edge mode. And we want to go into UV and we want to go to 3D cut and sew UV tool. Okay. And so we're going to start cutting the areas we need to cut. So we're going to start at the very front. We're basically, again, where your hairline might be. So if your hairline is down a little bit farther, then we'll select that. And we'll go down to, let's say, the neck part here. So I'm going to go ahead and hold down the Shift key and double click on that. And that cuts from the very top all the way to the base of the neck. And then normally we would just cut the base of the neck and just follow that edge loop. We'll click on this edge loop right here. Hold down the Shift key and click on it. And double click on this side over here. Oh, and let's go all the way around. Maybe it'll do that for me. There it is. And then it stops right there. So let's do a couple shots on that. I'm just holding down the Shift key and double clicking on it. So that's our break right there for our head. Okay. And then our arms, it should be fairly simple. Going right at the armpit. Again, you're going to follow your geometry of your clothing, right? So if you have a lower, it gets a little trickier when you're trying to follow clothing. And you don't have to follow it necessarily. It hides your seams. Okay. Let's go ahead and double click on that and go all the way around if we can for the arms. And then we're going to go to the wrist. So we find a natural spot where a bracelet or a watch would be. And you have to determine what that is. I'm not going to determine that for you. I'm going to hit the F key so we can this gets a little wonky here when we're moving around. Let's go ahead and do the other wrist. I'm just hold down the Shift key and then double clicking. And then we're gonna do the legs. So find a nice little break in the leg here that works best for you. Again, we need to have that cut go all the way around if we can. So let's just try it. Let's see what happens. Now, it didn't quite go where we wanted it to go. Okay, it's going to be hidden anyway. But I'm not sure if that's going to work. Okay, because it does go down in here. And we got this crazy thing that goes all the way up around. So it comes around and then goes up. So what we want to do is we want to deselect this one, so hold the control key down, deselect that, and go all the way to the top and double click on this one, holding the control key. And that should deselect those. Okay. Now unfortunately it deselected too much, right? So let's go back in here again and double click on this. Okay, it went all the way around. And then we can go, and you can see we've got that. Okay. Then we're going to go start here. So I'm going to click on this and just kind of follow that. So I'm going to double click on that, and that turns it white. You know, double click on that, that turns that white. So you can do one at a time. Okay, whoops. You have to be careful. I'm going to Control Z back. And I'm just going to go to here and here, double click on that. And you have to be careful again, Control Z. And just click on it. Make sure you don't click on things you don't want. There we go. Oh, almost dot it. There you go. So it's just kind of tricky. Alright. And what we'll do is we're going to go around, let's see, here. Go ahead and select this one because we're going to follow that one. Go up around here like this. I think that goes up, yeah. Right, and we have to be careful not to go all the way around. We'll go ahead and do this one here. Okay. That one's selected. Now we're going to deselect this one. Okay. Let's try to add this again. It gets tricky. It is harder. And let's get in that one. There we go. So I got that one, and then we're going to do this one. I just do a couple at a time, and that'll work. There we go. So that works pretty good. And then we're going to get rid of this one. This gets a little tricky too. Deselect those. Whoops. Too much, too fast. And just do a couple of them at the same, you know, couple of those. Go back again. Try that again, holding down the Alt Control key, which deselects. There we go. Now we're getting it. Deselect that one. And just go around. Let's go ahead and deselect this one. And this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. There we go. And we gotta get in here. There we go. So there it is. Okay, you got that one. That seam is done. Okay. And then it goes all the way around the ankle. Now you could have your feet. You'd want to cut where the sock line is, right, to hide it. So let's go ahead and go down the back of the leg here. And let's go ahead and select that. Let's go all the way down. And you got some strange craziness right here, but we should follow it all the way back here. There we go. Okay, we just gotta make that connection here. Let's hold down the Shift key. There we go. Got it. And we'll do the same thing over here. I'm going to go all the way down. Follow this line all the way down, like that. Let's see if that worked. Yes, it worked. Okay, great. And then we need a cut down the back, all the way down. So I'm going to click on this one, hold in the Shift key, click on that one, and I'm holding in the Shift key, and I'm going to go all the way around to right about here. I'm going to click on this one, and then click on this one, and then hopefully, whoops, don't go that way. Nope. And double click on, nope. It's accidentally selecting the wrong thing. Okay. I don't know if that'll work because it goes all the way up her sternum there. Okay, so we're going to stop. And that should go right around the waist. There we go. Okay. So we don't want that to go any farther than this. Let's go ahead and hold the control key and get rid of those. And we might have to do a cut around here. That might be something we have to do. So let's go ahead and do that cut here and that cut here. It's cutting around this part right here. There we go. Alright, so I think we have it. That looks pretty good. So you can see what I've got so far. Alright. We may not need to have a cut here. So I think we're okay. I think we might have a problem here. I suppose we could cut on the inside of the leg all the way down. That might work better. But we'll see how it lays out. The back of the leg's always a good spot for it. I'm just a little worried about this area right here could be a problem, because it doesn't go all the way up to this part here. That's going to be hard to cut anyway. And we're just cutting seams, and if we make mistakes we can always come back to this. Okay. Alright, so now we're going to do the eyes. Okay, otherwise they'll stretch really bad. So you kind of want to go around the eye, the orbital area here. Hold down the shift key and just double click on that until it goes all the way around. I don't care if there's any stretching inside the eye, but we need to make sure that this is cut properly. Alright, that looks good. And then you have your nose, which is important, that we just get the outside of the nose. I'm holding down the shift key. There we go, got that one. And this one. And we might have some double ones here. Nope, that looks pretty good. And then the mouth, this is going to be a lot harder to do. And we want to go the inside here. Okay, so I'm going to get right on the inside of the lip. Just double click on that. Okay. And this is where it gets a little tricky here. Okay. So there's the mouth there, and it goes all the way around. So I think we've got it. It found the edge loop all the way around the mouth, so I think we're okay. Alright, that's good. So we did get it all the way around. Alright, so we got the neck, and we'll see how that goes. It may lay out okay. Got the nose, the mouth, the eyes, that's what matters. And then with the eyes, you have to have a cut. Let's just cut at the bottom here. So we just want to cut from here over. So we're going to hold down the shift key and we're going to go all the way down and double click on that one. Okay. Okay, there we go. That's good. We got to cut through there. What you don't want it to do is double click on it. It's going to go all the way probably down to here, and you'll have to unselect those. But I think we got it okay. And we'll cut this one right here. There we go. Great. Alright, perfect. So now we've got it. And not totally sold on this part right here yet, but we'll see what we come up with. Alright, so hit the Q key, mode. There we go. And then we're going to lay it out. So I'm going to go to UV editor, right? And we're going to go ahead and go to unfold. So let's go click on unfold. Go to UV shell. So it looks like the head is separated where we separated from. That's good. So that looks pretty good actually. Right. And then the body, that's where we separated it out. That looks pretty good. That's separated. Okay. The arms, where are those? The arms didn't separate out right. Oh, because I didn't cut them properly there. So I need to cut those. I forgot about those. So I'm going to go ahead and minimize this and minimize this one. And we're going to go back to edge mode. And let's go back into UV 3D cut and sew UV tool. And that brings us back where we were. Okay. I forgot to cut the fingers and stuff. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's go ahead and cut along the bottom or the back of the arm, whichever you're comfortable with. Okay, you could do the bottom. Okay, let's try that. That seems to work out pretty good. So let's go ahead and hold the shift key down and click those two and go all the way to the end. Okay, where you follow that line all the way to the end here. Double click on that and that will cut that part. Okay, I need to cut that right there. There we go. Okay, and that should lay out okay now. And let's go underneath that arm. Same kind of spot there. Hold down the shift key and let's move down the arm down to the end here. Double click on that and that should take care of that. So I had to click on that one. And then the hand, that's not going to lay out properly, so we got to do the fingers, and I'm going to do each one of those. I'm just double clicking on the edge loop right here at the very edge of that, and for that to unwrap properly you're going to have to go all the way to the tip, unfortunately, of the finger. Okay, so we're going to start here and go all the way down, holding down the shift key all the way down. I don't know if it's going to let me. There we go. All the way down to here. That's good. And we need to get that one here. Oh, we don't want to go all the way around. So hold down the control key and double click on that one. Nope. Go back. Control Z. And kind of go right where you want to stop it. Hold down the control and then click in between. Nah, it just doesn't work. Let's try this. Get rid of them this way. Just hold down the control key. There we go. Let's try that again. Control, control, control. There we go. It's taking it away now. Got to get rid of all these little ones here. There we go. I think we're just about there. Okay, that looks good. And let's see here. I think I do need to go up one more here with that. Have to be careful. There we go. And do the same thing with the rest of these. So I guess I'll start right here at the end of the finger like this. And this go all the way to the end here. Maybe this will work. Ah, I hate it when it does that. It gets confused. Let's go to Control Z back again. Let's try that again. Start here and end up here, bottom. There we go. That worked. There we go. And we'll just continue down the fingers here, and you have to do the other side. get that first one started. Nope. Nope. Just kind of do. Nope. Doesn't want to catch. There we go. Got it. Then we'll come around here. That one worked. It's just time-consuming work here. Trying to get those just right. Looks like we've got one more little finger here to do. Ah, that happens. Try to keep that. Nope. Let's see here. Let's try this again. There we go. Got it. Alright, so then you'll do the other hand. The palm needs to be cut too. So that looks like that is this over here. So we need to cut the palm. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll start over here and come all the way back to here. There we go. And cut this one. There we go. So that looks pretty good. Okay. Okay, we'll do the other. I'm going to pause the video and we'll get to this other side and then we'll get to this. But once you cut it, and then we're ready to go ahead and unfold it. So it takes a lot of practice to get the fingers. You know, you'll get it. It just takes some time. The easiest part is just getting these done. Just around those, and then cutting around the fingers is the hardest part, like we did before. So again, I'm gonna stop the video and then come back. Okay, we have both arms done. We forgot to do the ear, so I've got both arms and hands completely finished, just like we did before, as you can see. And then the ear is really important that we take apart the ear, and we want to keep the seam in the back. So we're going to go ahead and pull this away, and that should go around the character's head. If it doesn't, you'll have to kind of give it some help here. And follow that all the way around. It looks like we cut that. Okay. The ear is very difficult because we basically have to cut around where the ear is and then break it apart. Right now it's not going to do well. So a lot of times some people will see where the edge loop goes and break it up that way. There we go. And then we got to make a cut behind the ear like that. Okay, I think we're ready. Okay, I came back from pause video and we got the other ear done. Make sure you don't forget to cut across here. And this looks a little bit weird right here. We could probably get rid of that. I don't know what's going to happen with that. We could probably just get rid of this. Let's see what happens with that. So we got all the cuts in here. So just hit the Q key when you're all done, right click over it and go to select mode, and we're ready to unfold it again. Okay, so let's go ahead and open these tools up again. There we go. If it doesn't automatically refresh, just close it. And let's go ahead and go back to a UV editor. And there we go. Okay. What we're going to do is make sure the object's selected. And now we can see we can actually see the seams now on the character, which is good. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go to Unfold and click on Unfold again, and that will help update everything here. Let's move the character over to the side, and that's what we got. That's what we have so far. Okay, so I'm going to stop the video now. I'm going to close all this up. I'm going to go ahead and click on this character here, just selection mode, and make sure I save what I have. And we can say something like module 8, and this is going to be cut UV seams. There we go. So we're going to cut UV seams. Alright, go ahead and save that, and we'll come back to the next video and I'll show you how to lay them all out now. Alright, I'll see you in the next video.